But the question is, it's only while you're in stealth, so it's only going to block you from the AoEs, or you know, if they have an Oracle and they're like beating on you. But you're only stealth for about a second, I believe. So I've always had this question of, is it really worth it? I mean, you do get the third proc, which is pretty cool because you get a movement speed bonus too. But I've personally been leaning more towards the first 3 abilities. But it kind of makes me sad because if you upgrade the ultimate, especially with the Mecha Kha'Zix skin, you turn into like a black and red robot instead of a bluish silver and gold robot. So it's a cool color change. But you know, each to his own.
Yep. And I'm going to intro these 2 teams real quick for you. This is the round of 8 game of the DominateDominion.com League of Legends Dominion Tournament number 24. Pays Evelynn Child Support versus Enema, who hasn't participated in this particular tournament in 6 weeks, so it's very, very good to have them back. Pays Evelynn Child Support's roster this game is going to be inFe as Nunu, CaptnBuwberry as Ezreal, Painkillar on Amumu, Panzerzs on Wukong, and HaIfhearted on Swain. I'm Gandair. Casting with me is
Chobra here, and we are going to see on the other side, we have SifuCalvin on Jax, Lerch on Kha'Zix, the new champion, Archos on Malphite, Wawix on Sona, and Kraogg on Maokai, and the game starts right in time. We're going to see a standard 4 top, 1 bottom start here.
Going to see both teams heading off up towards the top end of the map, inFe having used that Clairvoyance already, maybe going for that early scout, trying to look at those builds and things, maybe using it to decide a counter item for that bottom lane. Seeing Archos get caught with a little bit of damage there, but nothing too severe, just popping the shield a little bit as Buwberry begins trading with those skill shots.
Well, we are seeing Kha'Zix going around the top and using that ranged skill shot to harass. A very, very good start in my opinion. Just going to keep the enemy on guard here as they're trying to... the bandage toss going to miss across the wall, but Archos will get caught by Swain's snare. It takes a little bit of damage, but of course Malphite quite durable even from the get-go. Gonna be okay. HaIfhearted trading with Kha'Zix. Not gonna be a smart choice, and SifuCalvin actually jumps in, but is immediately exhausted and will get taken down first. We are going to see a Buwberry now getting chased away by Archos and Wawix. That's going to leave Lerch alone though, and that's going to allow Painkillar and Panzerzs to turn around, pick up that quick kill. They're going to have to sacrifice that Ezreal, but they know that's okay because Wawix now has to run. But Wawix does have the heals. That's going to allow Archos to live a little bit longer, and there's a great counter strike coming out from Jax. Picks up one kill. Can he pick up Panzerzs? No. HaIfhearted is going to come in on that Swain, and there's the snare right on SifuCalvin. SifuCalvin, no escape, now turns to fight to his death, and CaptnBuwberry is going to say, no way. You're not going to pick up the kill. Gonna help pick up the kill actually for HaIfhearted, but that left Archos all alone to pick up the windmill, so that's an easy 3 cap this time around for the red team.
CaptnBuwberry diving pretty hard for Wawix up there, wants to be able to take him down and is able to get that, but Archos is right there as a result. Now Painkillar has to retreat from that point, but Lerch with that little gap closer right there, hopping in to get that extra damage. Painkillar, no! Painkillar missed the minion! He missed the minion, unfortunately, was not able to banish toss out of that fight. He was going for the speed boost, as it were, with the banish toss, grab the minion, dash out, but he missed it by just a few pixels, unfortunately, and was not able to escape.
So a steady 3 cap so far, and Kha'Zix did opt to go for the Spike Rack's evolution first on that W, allowing it some greater AoE and allowing it to proc his passive and slowing the enemies every time they're hit with his W if he hasn't been seen for a couple seconds there. So a pretty good pickup for a lot of harass, a lot of good poke. Checking brushes with that, very, very good idea from Lerch. Now grouping up with Archos and SifuCalvin on Malphite and Jax. They're kind of scouting out the situation here. Painkillar now moving away from that Storm Shield. It has been picked up by CaptnBuwberry on Ezreal. They're pressuring Wawix at the top. That's going to force a lot of movement here from Enema, and they're actually all split up. Kha'Zix is looking for a pick-off and maybe going to join back up there, but Lerch is caught in the middle by Panzerzs and Painkillar, taken down solo. SifuCalvin trying to come up with the True Shot Barrage, not going to hit, but the Nimbus Strike will allow the kill pickup by Panzerzs. SifuCalvin is going to stun them and then move away. CaptnBuwberry has joined them back down here, which left HaIfhearted alone, bringing him down to below half health. But Archos has also taken quite a bit of damage. Now only Wawix and Archos alive. There's a great bandage toss and Curses that Mummy giving free damage from Blueberry and Panzerzs, despite the crescendo from Wawix. It's not going to be enough. A Garrison goes down onto the windmill. SifuCalvin trying to defend it with all his life, but it's not going to be enough even with Wawix's heals. Wawix is going to go down as Panzerzs and CaptnBuwberry chase him. No, maybe he's going to live actually. The Mystic Shot not going to hit, but Panzerzs finally does get it with that Nimbus Strike and then jukes him with the fake decoy. He presses stop and then moves away as soon as Archos jumps out of the brush, now bouncing back and forth with that Nimbus Strike, allowing CaptnBuwberry to put out so much damage, but Lerch has shown up on the Kha'Zix, forcing Blueberry to back off, but the goal was achieved as that allowed Pex to pick up the windmill up top.
Yeah, keeping them away from that point. Archos dealing with Wukong and not trying to get up to take the cap there was able to, Pacing on Child Support was able to secure that point. SifuCalvin's going to be able to get this Storm Relic uncontested. There we see Amumu, though, Painkillar, hanging out in the lower half of the map. And oh, the sapling sees you, Amumu! Run! It's almost as big as you are! He's going to outrun that, no problem. And everything will be fine. But in the middle of the map, there's a ping. Lots of pings going down. The sonar, the radar going off. And Lerch looking to get some damage in on Painkillar there. They are grouped up. They are Death Star mode. Activate. 2 splitting off for the windmill, 2 down here at the bottom, keeping them zoned out away. Are they going to be able to take Ezreal up at the top? Are they going to be able to survive in the mid?
The fight breaks out in mid. Meanwhile, top Blueberry alone against SifuCalvin and Lerch. Despite that tower damage, Blueberry was exhausted and so much damage coming out from both Jax and Kha'Zix. Lerch going back in with his ultimate. He's actually just going to use stealth to juke away from Amumu. Look at that damage coming out from Kha'Zix. Jumps away from that snare. He's going to retreat to safety for the time being. Is he going to return to the windmill or maybe just regroup with his team? He's just looking for some poke across the wall. There's the slow, long-range slow, very, very useful across the corner there, and now Kha'Zix is going to retreat as the entire team of Enema has decided to go back to base and regroup. Meanwhile, bottom lane Kraogg is trying to push away against inFe, and as we said, inFe just pushing relentlessly. The action has constantly been towards the boneyard here at the bottom.
You can see inFe, he's getting a lot of CDR. He's just going to keep pushing that and pushing that, pushing that, and that works very well with his lack of Garrison. Garrison is, really good for saving your point. You can also use it for attack, but he's not looking to attack. He just wants to keep Kraogg away from his points. That way he doesn't have to feel that loss of a Garrison. Since the way that he's playing right now doesn't need it, he can throw that out. He can sub that out for that CV, which we've been seeing him use all game long so far. Lerch throwing a shot up into the bushes above the center relics, doing a little bit of damage, and chasing, what's that guy's name? Chasing the other guy out of the bushes. I'm sorry, I know I was looking right at it, and both teams now in the middle of the map. Cheese Enema playing pretty aggressively here. They push into the middle to force them back, and then while there's a hole in between their armies, they move up towards the top. Painkillar diving into that point there, and Wawix using the ult, but Wawix immediately getting tagged by Painkillar afterward, and Cheese Enema being routed from this point pretty thoroughly here. Painkillar just sticking to Wawix all the way, and Archos trying to live, but a bandage toss for Malphite. Sounds like a great name for a children's book. A bandage toss for Malphite. It's about a Amumu. Be a great little book. But at the bottom, however, Kraogg is looking a little bit worse for the wear. Has to throw down that defensive Garrison there. And inFe has used his absolute zero already. But Panzerzs is going to come down there. And I don't know how you cut down a tree with a stick, but Panzerzs knows exactly how to do that. It's a really sharp stick. Wawix doesn't see inFe, so he doesn't have vision. He's not able to tag him with the whatever that button is called that does that. Power cord isn't able to tag him because he doesn't have vision, so not able to interrupt that at all. Archos heading back up towards the top end of the map to find his teammates. There's a CV down there, so they know those bushes are safe. Nunu throwing that into the mix over by that speed shrine. Painkillar's just hanging out. Painkillar, I'm scared for you. Painkillar, I'm scared. Painkillar, Painkillar. Oh, Painkillar's getting jumped on, stunned. He's slowed. Lots of status going off on him at once. They're unloading on him because he's the only target for them to be able to hit at the moment. Wukong is going to back off for a little bit and then circle back around to find a way to engage in the fight. HaIfhearted dying very, very quickly, however, and now CaptnBuwberry is going to have to deal with this all on his own. He's going to try and have to defend this point, but I don't think he's got the survivability to be able to do it. He is able to take down Kha'Zix, however, and delay for a little bit of time, but is that delay long enough for Panzerzs Wukong to be able to get up to the top point? We are going to see. He heads on up there, and the point is neutral right now. Can he keep it neutral? Panzerzs interrupt, thank you. Clicked on that point, stop Wawix from being able to cap it, but now Archos is going to go for it instead, and he's just delay is the name of the game up to top point right now. Panzerzs doing some chip damage where he can, clicking on that tower wherever he can, making use of his health there to keep him up for a little while, but he's not able to. He has to back off. Chizama is able to secure the point.
Yeah, Enema finally, their aggression paying off. The drill is in a little bit of danger, but the minion wave will be fended off by the tower itself. And now, we're seeing Pex really focus down onto SifuCalvin, which is the Jax player right now. Jax does get caught by the snare as we're speaking. inFe comes up from bottom, has pressured enough against the Boneyard to come up and help his team. We're joining in for a maybe full 5-on-5 fight. We are going to see Painkillar right in the middle. Meanwhile, Maokai spots HaIfhearted, and they're going to find Kha'Zix and Sona. The Cyclone not going to hit, though. Panzerzs wasting his ultimate just a little bit there. Lerch going to be able to escape with his leap, trying to slow down the enemy, but he is still seized, so the passive was not procced. Meanwhile, SifuCalvin gets some cleanup down in the bottom. Kha'Zix jumping right back in with his stealth, but would and melted by Painkillar, Panzerzs, and CaptnBuwberry. Wawix now up there still defends. SifuCalvin comes up with Archos, barely dodges that bandage toss as he walks right on by it. There's the crescendo, there's the counter strike. They need to take down Panzerzs and Painkillar, but it's not going to happen. They're keeping the Malphite locked down. CaptnBuwberry trying to put out some free damage, but now he needs to run, as his front line has been decimated by that Malphite. Alone picking up that double kill. Wawix now trying to kite Buwberry as Archos returns with that health relic. Needs to watch out. There's the unstoppable force and an instant melt by Wawix onto CaptnBuwberry.
Really wanted to seal the deal on that Ezreal kill right there. Normally you might be a little bit shy about that, but we have a Ganko down here on the bottom. Everybody wants inFeed, and Kha'Zix is able to pick up the... Whoa, that leap distance! You were not kidding! Where did he go? He jumped off my screen. And we're gonna play leapfrog because he's gonna jump out, and then SifuCalvin's gonna jump to him, and it's jump like crisscross. inFeed's gonna tag Lerch with it, but nope, over the wall. Painkillar tries to follow over. That's a good play by Painkillar. Someone makes a jump like that, you know roughly where they're gonna land. You can throw a bandage toss or a rocket grab or a zenith blade over that fence to try and get it. But now Lerch and SifuCalvin circling back around for inFeed again. inFeed's been keeping control of that lane the whole game, and they really want to shut him down. They throw an exhaust off on him, lots of slows, and inFeed trying to run away while doing that chip damage, kiting with that snowball there, but Painkillar is going to jump into the fight, and that's a little bit of AoE damage. Lerch not quite able to hop that wall. inFeed going for the absolute zero, is able to pick up the Kha'Zix kill with it, is going to die to SifuCalvin, unfortunately, but Painkillar is able to clear things up and has to circle around back to deal with Kraogg. Is he going to walk out, or is he going to go for the bandage toss? Opts for the bandage toss, gets in and tags him, but fighting Kraogg inside Maelstrom is not such a good idea. That sustain and that durability that he gets from that, in addition to the damage when he pops it, is something you don't want to have to deal with. But now SifuCalvin and Wawix are coming down to help their fellow party member out, and Panzerzs is going to jump in to intercept that. Wawix lands a stun, but Painkillar follows up with a root of his own with the Curse of the Sad Mummy there. Panzerzs and HaIfhearted doing as much damage as they can. Painkillar keeps circling back on out of the fight. Knowing that he's low on hit points, he likes to back away, let his cooldowns refresh, come back in with a bandage toss, circle, repeat as necessary, and it's doing amazing work for him right now. Painkillar, the Painkillar survival method, getting super low on hit points and just surviving and contributing. Painkillar is the best there is at that.
Yeah, meanwhile, Buwberry is going to get stopped by Archos, so giving Lerch enough time to capture the windmill. And yeah, Lerch opted to evolve his wings second, giving him that extra leap distance. There's the unstoppable force across the wall, actually. Sona coming in from behind to cut off the escape from CaptnBuwberry, picking up that kill. But yeah, Kha'Zix has evolved his spikes and then his wings, so now he does get that reset, he gets that extra range. Look at him escape there. He wants to get out of this fight. They know it's not an advantageous fight right now. Lerch is at half health, so is Archos. Wawix below half health. Wawix might be sacrificed right here. Does get taken down by Panzerzs. Now HaIfhearted gets the snare down onto Archos. Painkillar not confident enough to dive in under the tower just yet. There comes SifuCalvin though with the Storm Shield and the counter strike, putting out so much damage. Instantly takes down Amumu with the help of Malphite. There's the Cyclone coming back in for the counter aggression, damaging the enemy team so much on his own as Swain puts out some extra AoE. Trisha Rush does hit Lerch. Can Lerch pick up the kill? No, there is the Decurify, finally picking him off as HaIfhearted tries to escape. And now it's going to be Buwberry and HaIfhearted pushing up against the windmill as we see Painkillar already up there, starting the channel, and that's going to leave Archos all alone. He's not going to go for the defense. and he might go for the Refinery, but he should be stopped here by Panzerzs on Wukong.
A little bit of an engagement down at the bottom. inFe's got the absolute zero, but Kraogg counters with a Maelstrom of his own. inFe just keeps running minions into that tower, might be able to get that neutral. No, Garrison from Kraogg throwing that down to save that point. And Wawix and Archos back-capping the quarry there. Blueberry, seeing this opportunity, is going to go for the drill, it looks like, while this is going on down at the bottom point. However, Panzerzs is the first one to take damage, has to back on out of the fight immediately, but a very good snare landed there by HaIfhearted enables Amumu to follow up with his own snare. So much AoE damage between Swain and Painkillar, really being able to chip away at people here, but they have a lot of health. Wawix doing a very good job of being able to keep his teammates alive, and there was an exhaust on Painkillar, but he banish tosses out of the Maelstrom in order to get to Wawix and try and slow him down. Wawix, the battery that keeps the team running there in that engagement. Painkillar low on health once again, but that's the way he likes it, though not so much that particular time. And Wukong is going to go ahead and chase Maokai out away from there. CaptnBuwberry was not able to secure the drill while that was going on, but by making that play, pushing out like that, applying that pressure, it was able to keep things from getting a little bit too crazy. They both broke the cap a little early. Bottom, inFe, HaIfhearted. Come on, guys, got to finish the cap and then recall. Don't just break it off assuming the other guy's going to finish. Got to talk that stuff over, you know, before it happens.
We do see that Panzerzs have picked up that Storm Shield for free. Now waiting here in the enemy territory, but it's a 1v2, so he's going to escape with Decoy. Lerch is super scared, took that one hit, said, no way, I'm getting out of here, gets away with that huge leap distance. Still doesn't have that third evolution point just yet. Gets it every time he ranks up his ultimate. So we'll see what he opts for next. Is it going to be his ultimate or is it going to be his Q for that extra pick-off damage? And Dominion, it is a little bit more crowded, so I'm not so sure which one would be more advantageous. We are going to see the entire team of Enema come down towards the bottom. They just want to shut down inFe. They've decided that this is the better fight. They want to pick off the Nunu and then go for the capture. They're actually just going to leave Lerch to join Kraogg in this fight while 3 members go for the cap, but that's going to bring Painkillar, who's going to be exceptional at defending this point all on his own. He still has got it, and there's the Garrison defending it for such a long time all on his own until HaIfhearted comes in to pick off Archos. So much magic damage going down onto this poor Malphite, who is an armored champion. He did build an Airtron cloak, but he will go down first, not being able to even turn around for some extra damage. Kraogg and SifuCalvin now coming back into the fight. Can they pick anyone off? No, Painkillar is just going to run away at below half health, and SifuCalvin gets caught by Panzerzs. That's not a fight that Jax wants to pick. There we go, an instant burst with that extra AD steroid, or next on-hit steroid by Wukong. And that has left Lerch alone up top to defend the drill, but he's going to get sniped by Blueberry. Not able to retaliate. The only ranged attack that Kha'Zix has is those spike racks. So Blueberry able to just drive him away and capture that drill for pays up.
And they are going to pick up that drill again pretty easily, it looks like. Blueberry and Panzerzs not looking like they want to get into another engagement right away. Archos, checking around those bushes, make sure that there's no one hiding in them. And he's going to go for the Storm Shield really quick and see if he can get it before HaIfhearted's able to interrupt. Nope. HaIfhearted is able to chase him away from that. Storm Shield right there, no one around. Check to see if you can get it. Usually there are babysitters, though, when someone's really trying for it. And it looks like gank bottom is the way to play right now. Going down there to make a play on inFeed again. And it looks like they're going to be able to do that just fine down there. A 4-person play. Kha'Zix even getting a last-moment assist in on that. Wawix playing the upper end of the map, looking for a way to assault the windmill, rather, but not CaptnBuwberry, but HaIfhearted is right up there to interrupt that. However, I don't know if he counted on Lerch being there. Sona tags him with the crescendo, and Lerch is able to pick up that kill. Painkillar has to come up there in response, gets the banish toss, throws the Garrison down to interrupt Wawix. There, that's how you interrupt 2 people at the same time. Throws another bandage toss one way, has to circle back around to tag Wawix, uses the ultimate in order to tag him. Painkillar just using everything in his toolkit in order to be able to defend this point. And Painkillar's survival method, once again, getting those 2-digit hit points, backing on out of that fight, and able to escape to safety. Though SifuCalvin now coming in with that counter attack there, and Painkillar gets that health relic, gets a little bit of health back, and decides to circle back around. He's looking for a spot to engage. His teammate's giving him vision on the other side. He wants to get SifuCalvin, but misses the banish toss, unfortunately. And now Sifu, low on health, has to back on out of the fight. Intercepted by Wawix. Painkillar might have been going for Sifu there, but got Wawix instead, although that is a good target to have, and that percent damage really helpful against that Maokai right there. However, Lerch is looking for a Painkillar. Panzerzs is aware of this, so he goes back to help out his teammate, but isn't able to save him, and Lerch is going to turn around and go back, or no, maybe it looks like he's going to make a play for the windmill, perhaps. Grabbing that health rock, that point up there is neutral. Buwberry and Panzerzs are looking a little bit worse for the wear. Lerch can probably jump over that building if he wants to, but he's going to throw out the rockets first there before attempting to begin a cap on it. Buwberry circling around from behind, but SifuCalvin jumping up with that leap strike, jumping all over the world right there, and over that wall, pinched from two different directions. Sifu on one side, Lerch on the other side. Buwberry is going to go down.
Yeah, Lerch finally being able to put out some good damage. He has a lot of damage items right now. Has that Mob Memorious to defend against the magic damage coming out from the enemy team, and has opted to evolve his Q, so whenever they get one person isolated, he's going to do tons and tons more damage as the enemy starts losing more and more health. It is based off of 12% of the enemy's missing health, so the lower they are, the more damage he does, more like an execution skill. Meanwhile, bottom, once again, a gank coming in from Enema. Archos comes in. There is SifuCalvin prepping that counter strike. He's gonna get the stun. inFe has no escape. He's gonna get melted once again. But again, if Pex can just make a play off of this, if they can react to it quick enough, it's going to be a-okay for them to lose inFe. They don't really mind. inFe is okay with it, I'm sure. And they are making a play for it at the windmill. They're chasing away Lerch. Lerch gets denied with the jump across the building, overestimating the jump height a little bit. Wawix meanwhile goes up top, gets crescendo down, delaying just a little bit longer, but not able to stay enough as Panzerzs chases him away, and Buwberry is going to start the channel up top. That did allow Enema to capture the quarry, so it is a 3-cap, but we do see Painkillar going for the drill. If he can get the neutralize, it's all going to even out in favor of Pex, and he will be able to get the neutralize. Kha'Zix
Whoa! Catching that the last second!
No, the neutralize gets denied at the last second by Lerch's missiles right out there. Almost picks off Painkillar too, but Panzerzs comes in with that Cyclone. Lerch barely able to escape with that leap. What a interrupt coming out from Kha'Zix. SifuCalvin now trying to chase him for the kill, but a great bandage toss mid-leap, blocking SifuCalvin. Wawix is now here. It is a 2v2, but Panzerzs using that decoy to his advantage in and out of the brush.
Painkillar's survival method denied there by Wawix. He knows what Painkillar's capable of if left alive with even 14 health. He was not going to have any of that mummy shenanigans, and is going to pick him off and then head up to the top point in what was, I think, quite a good exchange there. Cheeseman was down by a fair amount, but they're starting to recover that gap now. And with this capture up here at the top, it's going to put them back into a position where they can take control of this game. This is one of the reasons I was really excited to see Enema in the bracket. Enema is a very strong team. They are hit and miss in competition, but they are very good, and they're giving Pex a run for their money right here. Pays Evelynn Child Support, the reigning champion right now of the DominateDominion tournament. And Archos sees what's going on. He's going to throw that shard out at Buwberry, but I don't think he anticipated on the other 4 players being there. He has his own teammates hovering around nearby, just up by that speed shrine, but that is a little bit of a gap to close if they're going to make a move on Archos.
Well, Buwberry just scouting out the other areas, making sure that the inFeed is safe for the time being. Both teams still hovering around the middle there. Wawix, I think, barely stepped out of the brush there. Meanwhile, Lerch is going to check the brush with his spike cracks, once again getting the slowdown to Buwberry. Buwberry puts out the 2-shot brush, but everyone had moved out. It's only going to hit Wawix. The turnaround from Enema. Can they get the pickup on Panzerzs? Panzerzs will go down before the full duration of that Cyclone. Now they're jumping down to Buwberry. Lerch should be able to get the pickup. Look at that damage coming out from Kha'Zix as Buwberry was at solo health. Painkillar also getting taken down with that double kill from Jax. SifuCalvin is still alive. Finally gets taken down by the revived Panzerzs. Now Wawix trying to delay as long as possible. The only one with the revive right now is Archos. Archos speeding back up, but again, revive is making a huge difference right now. The entire team of Pex had the revive ready. They got taken down and they came right back in, cleaned up house.
And Wawix is going to have something to say about that, but didn't get there in time to land the Garrison. The Garrison went off spell on cooldown, but the tower still went neutral. It was that narrow that he just didn't quite managed to tag it with that Garrison. I saw it off cooldown, and I was looking for it, and just, oh man, that was so close there. But CaptnBuwberry getting caught by himself, and this could be a really quick turnaround for Cheese Enema. There is only Painkillar, but saying there is only Painkillar is like saying they only have an assault rifle. It's a pretty bad thing, and Painkillar doing an okay job of delaying, has that Garrison there as well. Wawix goes down to try and zone away Panzerzs, but Panzerzs is like, nuh-uh, I'm going to straight dive in for it, and he picks up a quick double kill with the Cyclone there, and now goes for Wawix. Wawix having to retreat from that point, and while Cheese Enema was in a position where they could take the dominant role in this game, Evelynn has quickly turned it around with some excellent revive play.
Yeah, I mean, Pex is just doing so well at picking off the targets they need to pick off first. They're taking away Lerch as soon as possible. They know that Kha'Zix is squishy, despite the damage that he can put out. He's going to melt at the right hands, and then SifuCalvin being the next, and Wawix gets caught by HaIfhearted, waiting in that brush. There's the snare. Will Crescendo save this Sona? I don't think so. inFe is now here, and you can never just run away from a Nunu, and there's the Absolute Zero in the brush, but it does get interrupted. Good Chusha Brush taking advantage of that grouped up enemy team. Lerch now forced to escape and kite with the spike racks, and as soon as Lerch goes below half health, he either needs to commit to a kill or run away, and Pex has figured this out. They're just zoning away this Kha'Zix to bring him down low and then just letting him do his thing, and usually he's forced to run away because if not, he will get melted in the next.
Maokai trying to backcap the bottom, but with HaIfhearted alive, that's not going to go so well for the world's favorite burning tree. HaIfhearted going down there and throwing down that snare. Kraogg decides to stay with it, but misses it by, I can't even see the pixels. There were that few of them there. Kraogg just barely not able to pull off that neutral. HaIfhearted throws down the Garrison, wants to heal his tower there, but there is an engagement over at the refinery. Archos over there trying to backcap that is going to get caught by Panzerzs, and HaIfhearted on the way back. Things coming undone here in the final moments of the game.
Wawix and SifuCalvin now trying to make an escape from the windmill, but it's not going to matter because Pex has been able to pull out the victory. No towers will go neutral. It's going to be 95-1, or 2-0 rather, as Pex pulls out the victory here in round 2.
Evelynn Child Support is the victor over Cheese Enema in the round of 8. Evelynn Child Support going to be advancing into the round of 4 here in this next game.